Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for March 15th, 2026. We've got campaign features, Raider has with Horse, Gatekeeper has Treasurified. Alrighty then. Those are pretty straightforward. When you gain a Raider, you gain a Horse, and Gatekeeper is also a treasure. That does make both of them better. I'm not sure if it makes them better enough to make them a priority, but let's see what we have otherwise. So we've got Biding Time, which is activated by Mountain Shrine. Biding Time is among other things effectively strong trashing because you don't have to draw through your junk, you can just not play it. But it's enabled by a Trasher, so we still probably want to play with Trasher for that reason. And so yeah, Mountain Shrine plus Treasure trashing. Probably not going to care too much about Copper trashing here. But doing some early estate trashing with Mountain Shrine, I think makes sense. Well, actually, quite possibly not, actually, now that I'm looking at it again. So, well, we'll circle back to that. For draw, we've got Encampment, Den of Sin, and Livery. Also activated Mountain Shrine. For plus actions, we've got Encampment. And yeah, gains, there's no plus buy. There's no way to gain multiple victory cards in a turn. Camel Train can gain you multiple action cards or multiple treasures, but there's no way to gain multiple victory cards. So this is like going to be a very linear kingdom. And as such, trashing estates might actually not be so great. It is awkward, though, because until Biding Time gets activated, of course, estates are pretty bad. Plunder points also seem like they could be very relevant for that reason. It might be nice to get a Camel Train to be able to get multiple plunders at once. The other thing you could do with Biding Time is, like, you get a gold or a plunder, but preferably a gold because you want to be playing the plunders, but you get a gold and then you never play it, and you just have it in your hand, and that way you can always keep your encampments. Well, yeah, so I mean, maybe the idea is just you trash estates until Biding Time activates and then stop. Could have opened Mountain Shrine, Encampment. It's kind of the only thing that looks reasonable to me, really. And then probably do want to get gold relatively early. Want to get a Camel Train. I'm going to get the Mountain Shrine. Double Asceticism. That does not seem good to me, but okay. So we could just take a Den here. We would hit 4 next turn if we didn't play the encampment. Or we could play it, and then we'd actually be guaranteed to hit 6 and be able to pick up a gold if we wanted to. Be a little early for that, maybe. We could also, like, just get a camel train. I think I like that. Wow, okay. We could play the encampment just to trigger the shuffle. Make the den miss, but it would be a very short shuffle. We'd only have 2 cards left in it anyway, so it doesn't actually make too much stuff miss the shuffle effectively. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the camel train, not play the encampment. Yeah, we could get a couple more encampments here. Yeah, I think that looks good. And now we don't play this encampment. We buy another encampment, play a den. Then next turn, we ought to be able to, like, camel train an encampment and get a plunder or something like that. We're gonna have to play at least one of these. So we're gonna play 2 of them. We don't need to play another one. Okay. So we could... I guess the question is, do we want to... I think we want to play this encampment. We could get our golds out of exile if we don't trash. And then exile another encampment with camel train. Or we could just take both of the encampments. I think I'm just gonna take the encampments. All right. I'm wondering about getting one more camel train. And then we try to get a bunch of plunder. I think so. Well, this is potentially not great. We play one of these. I'm gonna say yes. Another one. Ah! No! Come on! Three encampments set aside. What a disaster. All right. And there's still a possibility that if we play this encampment, we'll also set that one aside. Yikes. On the other hand, like, potentially get a VP, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna not do it. Exile an encampment, exile a plunder, plunder. Okay. Exile encampment, exile encampment, buy encampment. And this hand sucks. Getting another camel train doesn't really make any sense. Not really anything that makes sense for us to get here. I mean, I guess we could consider a dungeon. I'm wondering about trying to avoid activating biding time so that the bot doesn't get to take advantage of it, but that means that, yeah, that does make dungeon look better. I think I'll take the dungeon. I'm just going to take the last two plunders. I think it would be good to get be good to get treasurer so that we can take the key. What else do we want? Like we could I guess we could. Specifically, what do we want with this camel train? We could take two treasurers, and that would allow us to continue thinning coppers, I guess. Maybe that's just the play. right. Well, I think I'm gonna take the key. Take another den. Oh man. And we can gain a lot of points per turn with these 5 plunders. If we can see them all. I'm wondering about... just exiling some more dens and then like having more dens in the deck. I mean, at some point, we're going to probably have to buy duchies or something, but I want to get to the point where I'm consistently drawing the 5 plunders. So, I don't know. I guess we'll go with this. Okay. Do we do anything with the camel train? Do we want more draw? Like, do we take more Dens of Sin this turn, or do we start in on duchies? Like, it's not like we drew deck this turn. The main reason to take duchies... Well, We did trash a card. We are going to play one more den. So we're going to be pretty close to drawing deck next turn. The main reason to take duchies is to deny the bot duchies down the line. We could also just take a couple more dungeons. Like, I'm also a little leery of lowering the dens too much, because then we're going to have to take the duchies. But having a couple more dungeons wouldn't hurt. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Alright, we don't need these camel trains. Play this dungeon, probably. But not this one. Okay. Could take one more den, or we could start in on the duchies. Having like 2 dens and 2 dungeons, and then 3 dens in 1 dungeon is like pretty reasonable anyway, though. We could also consider taking a province. The bot's deck is pretty bad. It hasn't provinced in a while. But if it... I think it makes more sense to take duchy. Oh, I don't want to discard any of these cards. Okay, I guess maybe we can get back to the... Nope. No trashing copper today. Unfortunate. Is there any value... in lowering pile? I don't think so. Like if we don't lose soon, we're not going to lose in the long run, so... Okay, so... Yeah, I mean, I think... there's still no reason to lower piles. We now have a points lead. Did get to province. I guess if we had lowered the dens a little bit, then there was a potential this turn of winning this turn. But... do we even play this encampment? I guess we don't, right? That last card... does it really matter what it is? Probably not. Take the key. So, I guess we buy a state? If the bot provinces... I mean, the bot probably won't province, but if it did province... yeah, it resolved its raider and its treasurer. It has 1 raider, 1 treasurer. Like, it's... oh, that last card is another treasurer, right? Yeah. So, there's almost no way that it provinces. So the other thing we could do is just take another den, and then the bot doesn't province. Well, there's a possibility that we can pile on dens, but also... well, wait, no. If the bot provinces, we can win. We'll get all the plunder points, and we can province next turn. We don't need an estate. Yeah, okay. Right, it did not province, in fact. Okay, so camel train, den, camel train, den, and buy a province. Yeah, that was interesting. The bot's deck was really quite bad. It felt to me like what the bot was doing was banking on biding time. Like, I'm going to activate biding time with my mountain shrine, and then once it doesn't have to draw through all the junk in its deck, then it can province out, like, and it's already out on provinces. But I mean, it didn't have any ability to actually do that. Like, maybe it should have bought a mountain shrine at some point. I don't know. Like, well, yeah, I don't know how the bot like kind of models these things, and whether it's thinking about like, oh, what is my opponent likely to do or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I was prepared for the game to go in that direction, but it just like didn't make any sense to help the bot accelerate towards the end game. And so 5 plunders is a lot of points. It's almost a province every turn. With the gains being so limited, I think that's quite good. I think there's a world where if the bot had gone for Mountain Shrine, or I had activated Biding Time, that it wouldn't have been enough time for me to catch up, because the bot could have provinced quickly enough. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if Biding Time had been ticking faster, or the bot had been ticking it, I probably would have had to take a somewhat different approach. And maybe that would have involved, getting fewer plunders, but still getting some and then greening. I'm not really sure. The other thing, I guess, is that if you were building to like a fast provincing biding time thing, I wonder if it would make sense even still to get like a second treasurer, and then you just play one every turn, and you have the other one like to like, even if you don't have any plus actions in your deck, you alternate treasurers, and you can make sure that you always have the key, and you've always got that big like amount of money you can play, because you are going to have to play, like, even with biding time, you're going to have to play, like, especially this deck doesn't, like, like, this deck can't province without playing some coppers, for one thing, which is pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could even see it being the case that with biding time active, the bot would still struggle to province, just because like it would province one turn and then it would not have enough stuff to do it. Or maybe it, over 2 turns it spends like the stuff and then it doesn't have enough stuff set aside. I mean, you're still like, all this stuff is gonna get set aside once, and then you like when you draw it the first time, and then you're never gonna have to deal with it again. But even so, getting 8 coins in hand with just this very small number of cards seems difficult. But yeah. Well, in any case, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.